Of course, I'm Jack Benny. Of course you want to know your spiritual maturity, but be warned. It might be a little painful to do a self-examination. No, we should not be perpetual navel gazers. I don't exactly know how that phrase works anyway. We should, however, occasionally take a look and see how we're doing. Danger, Will Robinson. If all you do is focus on, how am I doing? How am I doing? How am I doing in my Christian walk? You are bound to get bummed out. We want to make sure that we keep our eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, and not simply how we are doing. Having said that, we still do well to check out, on occasion, our Christian maturity. Thank you, Rick Thomas. Once again, rickthomas.net, simply the best at taking theology and applying it to life, emotions, feelings, will. Absolutely spectacular. And this particular presentation, allowing us to examine our Christian maturity, is no exception. Here's what Rick wrote. Rebuke-able people typically have humble and wise perspectives about themselves. They are rebuke-able because they have been rightly informed by the gospel. See a bunch of verses. That's right. The Christian who is able to receive rebuke, regardless of how it is delivered, is the one who is mature. So that raises about, 12 questions that we can try to answer to see if you and I are rebukable. Ready? This could sting a wee bit. Question number 1 from Rick Thomas. Can you be rebuked? Can you receive the corrective observations of others? It's as simple as that. If you have been informed by the gospel that says, no, you can't. There is nothing you can do. Nobody pleases God. Nobody does good. No, not one. But Jesus died for me anyway. Whoa, that allows you to be rebukable. That's the connection between being the proverbial wise man who receives and actually seeks out correction from others, even a rebuke, even if it was delivered in nasty fashion. Why? Because I've been informed by something greater. The gospel tells me I am far worse than any rebuke I could ever receive from anybody. Now, when they come with their little teeny tiny correction compared to, whoa, the mountain of sin that I have compiled, that ain't no big thing. So may I ask you, can you be corrected? And most likely, you're going to answer the question the same way that I would. Of course I can be rebuked. Are you kidding? I do everything perfectly. If you answer the question the same way I did, it's time for help, and there are 2 places to get it. Your family and your church. Ask your wife, ask your husband, ask your kids, can you come to me and correct me? And if they respond by going, yeah, honey, I can rebuke you, then you've got your answer. If, for whatever reason, you're a little afraid to do that at home, ask people at church. That, too, is a school of character, and that is why we do the one another's with one another, so that I can help you see yourself the way the rest of us see you. Once again, let me ask you, because this is the key, this is the crux of Christian maturity. You want to know if you're down low or on the upper shelf of Christian maturity? Can you be rebuked? Question number 2. When you are reproved, how do you initially respond? Now, maybe you've jumped the gun already. Okay, fine. Maybe I don't respond great initially, but I get over it after a while, and I think about it, and then I try to make a correction if I think they're right. That is why each one of these 12 questions is coming at question number 1 from a different angle, because it helps us to see how we are really doing. If you do not receive correction immediately and go, oh, this is going to help me in my Christian maturity, you're not as mature as you should be. Please note, this does not mean you're not a Christian. Don't go into that ditch. But if your immediate response isn't to say, rebuke, one of the best things for, this is going to help me be more like Jesus, then you're simply not as mature as you could be.